Another day, another mid-year freakout. I love watching booktube mid-year freakouts, but I wanted to switch this to music, but still based on the tags questions. So bear with me here as I amend them appropriately. But I thought this would be fun, especially if I'm able to capture some viewers who normally watch the book ones to bring you over to the music side of things and discover some stuff. This, compared to last year, this has been a much slower year, but there's still plenty of new music to talk about. I've been enjoying a lot of singles, only a couple EPs, and a good amount of albums so far. I was not expecting this many albums so far. Something I've realized is I really enjoy reviewing books, and I've, even previous to doing videos, have like conceptualized how to review books for a very long time, especially as a writer myself, like why I do and don't like stuff. I feel like I have a harder time describing music, especially because I can't share audio clips with you on here. So I feel like I have to like learn how to have very precise vernacular when describing songs or genres so that you can know if you would like it or not. So that's gonna kind of, going forward with music content, be my like challenge for myself, is can I expand my word choice to most accurately give you a realistic preview of a song or an album. So normally the first question is the best book. So I'm gonna go my favorite single, EP, and album of the year. There have been a ton of good singles out, but I'm very biased. I love 21 Pilots. They're my favorite band by a landslide. And so I think I have to say The Contract by 21 Pilots. For those of you who don't know, over their past, is it 4 albums, 21 Pilots has crafted a fantasy narrative with characters and a whole world. And a lot of people know their music, but don't know that. And so with their album Clancy last year, which is the protagonist's name, they left it on a cliffhanger. And this fall, the final album for this fantasy world is coming out, called Breach. So first of all, prepare yourselves for Breach. And please get on this bandwagon before the story's over, because it's so cool to witness. They have a whole playlist on their YouTube. You can like watch the story through music videos. So maybe do it. And it's still at a cliffhanger. So with The Contract, it kind of it kind of continued the storyline, but like not really. We're like still at the same cliffhanger basically, but it was like an aside while the cliffhanger's happening. It's very like early 2000s alternative sounding. Honestly, this is the most Tyler's screaming has ever felt like metal in this song in particular. So if you're a little bit more of a metalhead, I think you'll like his vocals in this track. They do a really good job of like switching up musical elements throughout a song so that you're not bored, which is honestly a concept that I'm kind of taking from Turning the Tables podcast / YouTube channel, because they use that description and I thought it was very accurate of their songs. They're really good at producing in that way, and this song is no exception. They did a lot of like musical turning moments throughout the track that makes it really easy to listen to over and over, because it's not going to be like the same exact musical sounding chorus every time and such. So that's easily my favorite single, because I really like the complexity of the music behind the track. I am more of a lyrics person, and I will say I'm not fully comprehending what's happening lyrically, and I think that's because I need the rest of the album, the rest of the story, to like fully understand the context of what's happening lyrically. It is an opening track to the upcoming album. It was less impactful of an opening track because I don't know what all's happening with the characters, and the lyrics leave me with questions. So I think I'll like it more when the entire album's out. But it's still really good musically. Most people don't craft fantasy world with music, so it's just been a really cool journey to be on. My favorite EP, there's only really been 2 new EPs I've listened to this year, and so that has to go to my second favorite band. Wallows came out with their More EP. This is, I believe, 6 tracks. Oh, it's right here, let me pull it up. It's 7 tracks, but the 7th track is a reprise of one of the tracks. And my favorites are Easily Not Alone, and I do like Hide It Away. I think they have a lot of good contemplative lyrics in this EP, and they're really good at capturing nostalgia, but also capturing hope at the same time, like looking backwards and also looking forwards. I really like how they play with time and relationships in that way, and so I think this EP does that really well. And then easily the album I've played the most and that I've been the most attached to, even though there's been 7 albums I've enjoyed this year, is Michigander's self-titled debut album. And for those of you who don't know, Michigander is a pop rock artist from my home state, obviously. He is now not in Michigan, he is in Nashville, but he's still representing very well, and I'm very, very proud of his debut album. I've been following him since the beginning when he only had 2 tracks on Spotify, and so similar to Wallows, he's very much worth watching. He captures a lot of that cozy nostalgia that people love from early 2000s music, I would say. So my millennials will love him. And he also has very earnest lyrics about wanderlust and family and growing up. And he has some contemplative songs in this album about family and even about our country and politics. I love the opening track, Broadcast. I think it does a really perfect job at depicting our culture right now and the political climate we're in. And he has some really good angsty emotional tracks. My favorite is Spitting Image, and they actually did a second version of that so he did a second release of the track with Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness, and that was also fantastic. I will take any iteration of this song because I love it so much. Best sequel is the second prompt, so I guess I'll just do something I love from someone I've heard already, which is basically everything on my list. I have a list that I'm like wanted to write everything down so I know what options I'm pulling from. Okay, so just kidding, there's 3 EPs that I loved. You know what, this is the perfect opportunity actually. So I'm gonna say for my best sequel, I'm gonna say the EP Sawville Episode 2 by Arrested Youth, because it's literally in the title that it's like a sequel. I have really been enjoying Arrested Youth's music. He's admittedly not too far off instrumentally to 21 Pilots, so that's probably a big reason why. But very alternative and just elements of a lot of different genres. I really appreciate Dr. Evil. I would say easily my favorite track is Everything I Need. That one, totally not spiritual vibes, but I've used it as like a prayer. I really appreciate that song. I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know what his intention behind the song was. This EP also has 6 tracks, by the way, but I actually don't think I heard the first EP because, again, he's like someone I'm more consistently getting into. I've liked his music and I know I've liked it, but I'm only like consistently listening to it now. So I have a lot of his discography to listen to still, but I really appreciate how mental health focused his music is as well, because that's something that I love, obviously, with loving 21 Pilots. My most anticipated release for the second half of 2025, I think we can all say, what it would be. It's Breach by 21 Pilots. I will also mention that I'm excited for Dodie's next EP. I know it's coming at some point, and I really missed her music coming out. And then the other one I'm really excited for is The Favors debut album, because I was so excited. For those of you who don't know, The Favors is Phineas and Ash. They just created a band, and I've always loved their vocals together, so it's just been like probably the musical highlight of my year so far to know that they're like going to consistently be singing together. It makes me so happy, so I'm very excited about that. Biggest disappointment, I don't like this one because it's not positive. I don't dislike this song at all, so please do not come for me, but for lack of an answer for this, I'm just gonna say The Giver by Chappell Roan. Not because it's bad, but just because country is never my go-to. I think she did a really good job, and I saved it and I enjoy it. But generally speaking, more nasally singing is just like, I don't know what it is. My ears don't like it. And obviously this is not all country music, but a lot of country music in the stereotypical lyrical sense I don't care for. So I'm sure there could be like a niche of country music I could find and enjoy, but I've had friends send me so many things in the past and they just never jive with me. Whenever anything does, people are like, oh, well, that's not really country, it's more folk or it's more pop. So there's like no pure country that I think I've ever liked. It's usually a genre bend, if anything. But I thought it was a cool, like, versatile way for her to use her vocals, and I think she did a really good job. Biggest surprise of the year, I'm gonna say Martin Luke Brown's album Man Oh Man. I didn't really know what to expect from his album, so I was very pleasantly surprised to see that it's very centered upon masculinity and reframing and working through toxic masculinity. I thought it was a really pleasant, cool surprise to see someone touching on that in a bigger musical way, and I think more people could afford to do that. I think it's so worth listening to. I just really appreciate the album. I think it's doing very good things, and I wish every guy I know would listen to that album, honestly. Favorite new artist. I feel like I haven't listened to too many new artists yet, but I guess I have to say The Favors, because did not expect that, and that's officially like the new one. New to me though, I've always loved Jackie Hill Perry's Theology, and I didn't realize or think to look before like a week ago to see if she had music, and so I found her music a week ago, and I'm so excited to listen to all of it and get to know all of it. It's more hip-hop and rap, and yes, it's fantastic, and I will definitely be getting to the point where I can sing all of her songs, I'm sure. Some of these prompts are not relevant, like new fictional crush, like what would I translate that to? I mean, if you want to know my celebrity or my musician crush, it's always Niall Horan. It's not a surprise. I love an Irishman. Any music that has made me cry this year? Ooh. I actually don't remember if it did or not, but I remember Not Alone by Wallows being very emotive for me. I can't remember if I cried, but either way, it was very emotionally impactful. So I'm gonna say that one because it was very timely. Like, plenty of other things have made me cry, but I don't think that's what we're asking here. Something that made me happy. Wait. Dodie's song I'm Fine just came on, and now I'm like, no, actually, I think Dodie's song I'm Fine actually made me cry because it's about her being 29, and she's always a year or two older than me, and so it was very cathartic to hear someone just above me in age reflecting on just this lost feeling of lost it, just even accepting and admitting that they are, because I feel like the older you get, there's almost like more and more pride of like, oh, I don't want people to think I like don't know things or don't have it together. Not that anyone has it together, but I don't know, there's like, I feel like there can be a weird pressure when you get older of what's expected of you to know. So it was very refreshing to see myself like mirrored in her song of like, a lot of things are ebbing and flowing, and some of them in negative ways, and like that's just kind of part of it sometimes, and part of it for people this age. And obviously I know that's not everyone, but that's definitely me. Just feeling like the weight of a lot of things. Like, of course there's plenty of great things in life, but I feel like I've consistently been in seasons where I just feel the brokenness of the world a lot more than the silver linings these days. Not because there's not silver linings, but like the world is beautiful and broken, and I've just really been feeling how broken it is these days, basically. And I don't think that invalidates this, but it means I'm currently feeling a lot more of this than this. Even though this is true too, and it's not gone, it's being really outweighed. Something that made me happy, I'm gonna say the single Baggy Jeans by the band Camino, because I think it came out in like springtime or early summer, and the band Camino is just very like spacious pop rock that feels like the balmy breeze of summer, and so it just like welcomes me into the season with open arms. And it came out at just the right time whenever it did come out. It's also just that like hopeful, ready for love vibe that, you know, I feel that too, as much as all the hardship. So that was a fun experience. The most beautiful thing I've heard this year, I'm gonna say Little Mess You Made by The Favors, which is also on right now. I just think their blend of vocals is the most gorgeous thing ever, and I love how they both harnessed the track, and it wasn't like one over the other, but they really truly like equally contributed to the entire production, and they're both allowing each other to shine at the same time, and it's just the most beautiful, wholesome thing. And I feel like you can just tell that that's their friendship as well, and I really love that a lot, and that also makes me so happy. To be listened to, this is the last prompt for the rest of the year. I definitely want to listen to more hip-hop. I have not gotten too heavily into the genre, but would love to continue to do so and find my little niche in the genre as well, because I don't like a ton of explicit lyrics, so it's harder to find that little non-uber explicit niche in the genre with what I've sorted through so far, but I know that I can continue to find more, and if you have recommendations, let me know. Something else I've been thinking of, especially because it's summer now, is I would love to dig into reggae. So if anyone has reggae recommendations, please send them to me. I would love to listen to some reggae. Again, I'm very lyrical, so preferably something a little more introspective. My hope is just to continue to dig into genres I don't have as much of in my repertoire, and also obviously excited for whatever new music comes out. I every single Friday consistently check my new music on Spotify, and I thought it was funny. The first and only time this year so far that there's been zero new music on Friday of the people I follow was 4th of July. Honestly, relatable. Yeah, but also like for streaming purposes, it's probably silly to try to put something out on a holiday, right? Marketing decision, political decision, both, probably. Obviously, there's so much other new music I've listened to that I've loved, and I will be sure to link everything that I love in the notes so you guys can go listen to it yourselves. I listen to Spotify, so they will all be Spotify links, but of course, you can at least have the titles and artists to look up on whatever you stream on. So all of the singles I want to give a shout out to that I did not already. 21 Pilots also had their Doubt demo come out for 10-year Blurry Face anniversary, which is very, very special to me as well, because it's 10 years since I found 21 Pilots and 10 years since they saved my relationship with Jesus Christ, which means the world to me. My life would not be the same without them. I also want to shout out one of the bands at my church that I love so much. They came out with their version of Before the Throne and My Victory that are so beautiful. Communicating by Bad Sons came out. Sideways by Honey. Yellow Brick Road by Quinn 92, which is on right now. And I kind of already mentioned The Giver by Chapel Roan, but that is a great song as well, despite the genre comment I had. For EPs, I also want to give a shout out to Evergreen by Strings and Heart. That is also a worship EP, and it's very California rock. So if that's your thing, go for it. And then, of course, there are other fantastic albums that I've listened to this year. Haim, I Quit is obviously probably the most popular one on this list. Bongo Chico is John Foreman's brother, Tim Foreman's debut album and his artist name. So if you love Switchfoot, if you love John Foreman, go stream Bongo Chico. It's a similar California rock sound. Again, there's a theme here. Alicia Cara's Love and Hyperbole album was great, and I honestly forgot about it until looking through all the new music, so I will be streaming that again very, very soon. Jacob Montague is also a local artist, and he came out with Midwest Western. So if you would like to listen to a beautiful instrumental album, please go listen to that. Some of my own friends did the instrumentation. One of my friends did the visual photography for this album, and I love a good instrumental moment. I was in symphony band, so love it so much. And then another personal connection, the band Last Night Saved My Life with my friend Ryan. They came out with their album The First Hello, which is for lovers of 5 Seconds of Summer and the band Camino. So if you love those two artists, I promise you will love Last Night Saved My Life. So go listen to them. It's the punk rock vibe that everyone finds endearing and also likes to mimic vocally. I understand. And the other new artists to me that I wanted to shout out were No Big Dill, who is another Christian hip-hop artist, and Delta Sleep is an indie rock band that a friend just shared with me that I love, that sounds similar to The Strokes. So right up my alley, went right on my Wallows and Friends playlist. So yeah, that's it. See you later.